here. So
you see
you'll notice
on the screen.
Yeah, so when we have a screen down here, so we're trying to read what's on the screen. Daniel's probably got a better chance than I have.
I do, yes.
I can see Emma
K, Lily Jade is
Mags. I can see Mags. Good morning.
And Matt is on.
Matt, good morning. Is that Lily I can see, or Lucy? I can't really see very well. We'll read them out loud, please.
There's a lot of names there. There's Joe, it's Sophie, it's Megan, it's Beverly, it's Emily, and I can probably missed a few. Melissa's on there, and Jay. And they're flying in. Bethan, Helen again, and Georgia Rowden. Good morning, Georgia.
Trying to have a look and see how many are in the room so far, because we know approximately how many should be in the room. Although we've had lots of messages this morning from people saying they are so inundated with phone calls. So they don't know how well their watching will go today. Inundated with phone calls. Why, I wonder. So let's have I can't really see very well. Wait a minute.
Diana, Liana, come on. Claire is here. Angie.
Yeah,
Anna.
okay. Let's just, because we're actually a little bit early this morning too. We're a little early this morning, aren't we?
My chair's going down.
We're coming live from the Passion for Hair Academy. Oh, and we have, because the setup's a little bit different, we have to remember to look at the camera and not the screen. So that's different for us, because this is how we get eye contact with you, by looking at the camera. But we do have a screen down here so that we can see stuff. We've got Declan. We're all in the same room, by the way. We don't have to social distance. But Declan is now in our bubble. So we are a bubble, right? So we're all getting used to this new stuff. And of course, yesterday we got the news that we were all waiting for, and we are going to be open on July the 4th. How do you all feel about that? And I can't read people's replies. I'm too far away. And hooray, someone said, yes, is that Jay? Said hooray.
Very happy. High five.
Yeah, Maria. So, but if you read my post yesterday on Facebook, you know, what I said was, this is not the end. This is really the beginning. Like, this is where the hard work really starts, because whilst we were waiting, it's kind of a passive thing. You know, yes, we could clean the salon and decorate the salon. And I know some of you have done some, refitting of the salon so that you can comply with social distancing, and all that is good. But now we're getting ready to really get started with our businesses. And I think we normally get going when we're about 80% of the registered people in the room. We've got about 80% of the people registered are in the room. So our topic today, we are in sales. And I'm still looking at the screen. And as I'm looking, I can see that I'm not looking. We are in sales. So we're not pulling any punches here today. We're not making it pink and fluffy. This is really very important, that when the rubber hits the road on July the 4th, we've got a lot to think about in terms of the new way that we'll be working, but we still have to make sure that we hit those sales, because it's really important that we understand we've got ground to make up. Yes, it will be busy for the first few weeks. I'm going to anticipate that it will be busy for about 3 or 4 weeks. It will be manic. But then from everything that, all the feedback we've been given from other people, it starts to kind of like slow down a little bit then. Of course, the government, the Bank of England, the economists are predicting that we're going to have a severe downturn in the economy. Well, we've got a severe downturn in the economy, but they're predicting that there's going to be a recession. So it's really, really important that we really focus on getting the right amount of sales. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. Everybody's job is dependent on making sure that we make our businesses work.
Absolutely. I think one of the key messages we want to put across on this particular session is that the whole team, your whole organization needs to adopt a sales culture and a sales mindset. It's a really good time and place to get that mindset ready and going. And the mindset should be this, that everyone in your team, in your organization should have a focus on revenue, profitability and growth. It's going to be so important that everyone plays that part. This is not just about retail in terms of selling a bottle of shampoo. The sales aspect of running your salon comes from the front of house, in the middle and to the back, and anyone that has any form of point of contact with your clients, whether it's social, phone, messaging, or email. Point of contact, everyone has a role to play. And there's a great author, his name is Todd Cohen, who wrote a book on sales culture and how he really tells the reader, if you like, how everyone in an organization should have some form of, everyone does have a sales role to play. So I want to give you a couple of examples how that plays out for us as Passion for Hair. So if you're not in direct sales at Passion, so for example, myself and Debbie and others, anyone in our organization helps with the focus on profitability and growth. Even if you take someone paying our bills when we order from Sensus and Euphora, if we don't pay our bills on time, we don't get our products on time, and we can't go out and grow and get that profitability. So there's always a player somewhere along the line that plays some form of role in the growth of the business and profitability in terms of sales. And I know you have a great example of that when it comes to in salon. Just because you're not direct on the front line, you still have a role to play.
Yeah, so if you're an apprentice or you're a receptionist, you might feel that your activity does not directly impact the sales, but it does, and it should. Because if it doesn't impact the sales, what we have to understand is that as a business owner, you're going to look at it and you're going to say, well, hang on a minute. If we have a downturn in sales, I've got to cut some costs here. Well, if this person's job does not impact that sales number, then maybe that's where I could cut the cost. So it's really important that everybody at this point really focuses on how we make sales, the part you play, what you can do better, how you can support others. This is really important as we move forward. Everyone's got to be absolutely focused on, I'm here today to make a difference to our business's performance. And if we focus on that, then we're going to get great results. And we're going to, I remember at the beginning of all of this, people saying, we're going to come back bigger and stronger, etc., etc. And that is absolutely, how we come back bigger and stronger is everybody really gets focused. When we're in the salon, we get focused on, how do we impact the sales? How do we make the sales better? Now, we've talked about the 4 R's a lot. Let's see if everyone can, I'm going to lean forward, everybody. I hope you don't mind so I can read. But the 4 R's, what are they? Yeah, so Perry's come up with the first one there, reviews. Get your clients to review you. Facebook reviews, Google reviews. These are the two most important ones, and Yale. What else have we got? Rebooking. The rebooking is really important. Some of the feedback that we have had from other countries has been that clients are rebooking longer. Now, we know in a recession, people do stretch out their appointments. That's what they do. Well, that is what is happening. People are going in other countries. People are saying, I will rebook, but I want to rebook for 7 or 8 weeks. So, but we want to make sure we get those rebookings, because the appointment in the book right, is money in the bank for the future. So that's really very, very important. So, so we want our clients to refer their friends or recommend their friends. They're both with an R. How lucky is that? But making sure that we ask for that extra business. There's a lot of new clients around. On Monday, I went round my salons and I was talking with Elaine by the front door on Monday, and literally within 10 minutes, like, we had 3 people come along, never been to the salon before, interested in finding out more about the salon, put their names down on the wait list. So those new clients are out there. We want to make sure if people are going to stretch their appointments out to longer, then we want to make sure that we get that opportunity. We had a client yesterday at Fed. We've had very, very few clients that have not made their appointments, okay? But we've had some clients who have said, I'm not ready yet, and that's okay. Some clients who, of course, are shielding, and they said they're not ready, and that's okay. But we did have a client yesterday who said, Perry spoke to this client. She will put me right if I'm not right about this. This client said, I've been cutting my hair for the last 3 months. I'm going to continue to cut my hair. In fact, I'm sure that's what she said, because I rather took Perry's voice away. And took her breath away, not her voice. But she didn't know what to say. Yeah, right. And she messaged me. She goes, what do you reply to this one? I said, we very elegant reply. We understand. We're here when you're ready. I had a phone call from you today. Please take me off your wait list. There's no way I'm paying up front for a haircut. I can cut my own for a bit longer. Yeah, that's right. That's what she said. That was exactly the message. So some people are going to think that, maybe, I'm so busy. We don't need new clients, but we do need those new clients. So Declan clearly wants me to address this question now. So I will, because he's flashed it up on the screen. And Matt's asked, are Feathers taking deposits for rebooked future appointments? We are taking the opportunity to put reservation fees, note the dialogue, reservation fees into what we do. So I called up Salon IQ. On the client's record, there's a little button, and by default, they're set to no deposit. And then you turn it on if you want that client to have to pay a deposit. I had them reverse that the other way round. So ours is now set default. Everybody has to pay a deposit, a reservation fee. A reservation fee. Now, it's really important that we use the dialogue reservation fee, because if it's a reservation fee, you don't have to refund it. So our policy says, and I'll share our policy. Maybe Declan can get it up here. He might be able to. Oh, that's a face of. But I'm sure I shared it with you, Dec, because it's to go up on the website, right? But anyway, if not, email me and I will share our policy. But long story short, our policy says, if you can't make your appointment, please give us 24 hours notice. We will happily transfer your reservation fee. If you can't give us 24 hours notice, we will, in all good faith, try and sell that appointment. And so our goal is to have enough clients on the standby list that if a client, let's say a client has to at the last minute cancel a colour appointment, that's really 2 appointments. If we've got 2 standby clients there, we can just go bloop, bloop, and then we're able to transfer that reservation fee for that client to another appointment, right? So I hope everybody's understanding that. Just so that you know what we're doing, appointments under 30 minutes, £10 reservation fee. Appointments between 30 minutes and 1 hour, £20 reservation fee. All technical appointments, £50 reservation fee. And we've had hopefully some of my team will put some comments down here. we've had very, very few negative feedbacks on it. I'm so pleased that we did put that in place. You know, so we'll see how that goes, and how that works. What I'll do, Det, you some questions we'll leave till the end, and some you can put in as we go along, as you see fit, because we've done enough now of these webinars to kind of Declan know when
let's manage those to the end. And I think what's happening now for most of you guys in terms of booking these clients, that is a result of you guys doing really well leading up to this, and you have your clientele, and they're really looking forward to see you. And sure, you have some that have been experimenting on the side with some home stuff, or maybe some illegal hairdressing. But all in all, at this moment in time, it's not so much your skill at current time of selling those times, it's the hard work you already put in. But a really good reminder would be to make sure that the skill in terms of talking about bookings, how we fit those in moving forward, will be a skill that hopefully you have. If you don't have that on the front of house team, you should certainly address that, because it will become a skill, and there's a money producing person at the front desk that is booking all these clients in moving forward. So from a selling aspect, if you think about the idea that anyone that has any form of contact with a client provides profitability and growth of the business, or in a sales role, you have to have that in mind. It's going to be super important, because the joy of the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks, whatever it happens to be in the beginning, is going to be really good for all of us. But as Debbie's already said, the hard work is starting, and it's probably going to be a month or two in that we are going to see some people maybe not do as well as they did in the beginning. So it's really important to have that sales mindset, that anything any point of contact you have with your client is a sales opportunity, even if that sales opportunity is a half an hour, 45 minutes appointment. It's just as much sales as it is to recommend a good bottle of shampoo.
You know, I've been teaching hairdressers. Many of you know this. You know, I've been teaching hairdressers for, nearly 30 years now. Like I've been teaching, you know, hairdressers longer, but I mean, you know, hairdressers all over the country, right? Nearly 30 years. And 30 years ago, we used to kind of disguise the sales training, as it were, because, you know, hairdressers didn't want to think they were in sales. And then we kind of like you know, I've probably been teaching hairdressers, I would say, for about the last 10, most certainly since we came back from America, because let me tell you, hairdressers in America are in sales. They know, you know, they know how to make sales. Absolutely. And when we came back, you know, British hairdressers, you know, I would say, guys, we're in sales. Anybody that is customer facing today is in sales. If you work in a bank, you're in sales. You know, when you could go into a bank and see a bank teller, you know, they would say to you, are you going on holiday this year? Do you want to buy your foreign currency from us? It would pop up on their screen that you own your own house, and they would say, when your mortgage is up for renewal, would you like us to give you a quote? When your insurance is up for renewal, would you like us to give you a quote? Everyone's in sales today. So, but I said to Daniel, Daniel, what we've got to do now I think you guys trust us enough now to allow us to coach you that sales for us is, we're gonna hit it right on the nose, right? We're not messing around, fluffing it up. I know that not everybody finds it easy, and that's where our skills as a coach will come in, when we'll try and help people to find that within them, because it doesn't have to be, we're not trying to sell anybody anything they don't need or they don't want.
And that is such an important. I had the opportunity to be with Gary and his team from Seven yesterday. I jumped in and did a webinar session with them, and retail was very much the topic. And absolutely, what we do know at this moment in time, which we have mentioned a few times over the course of this current situation, is that people are buying shampoo. I think you all have recognize that and know that. I think there's not a secret. The reason why we know this is because they can pay big contracts to certain superstars to do certain commercials on TV as well as on online. And of course, we know with the Salon Love campaign that we have done that the appetite for retail in terms of shampoo, styling products, etc., is there. People do not go without shampoo and conditioners. The question is, do they buy it from you? And I think that is a really important question to have moving forward for anyone that sits and thinks that maybe they are not a retail person. You know, I often come across two things I guess a hairdresser would normally say to me is either it's not part of my job, and just to be really frank, it is part of your job, even if it's not selling shampoo and you might not be comfortable with it and you might not be have a confidence in that sort of exposure to education, but sales is your training. How else do you get someone in your chair? You are in sales just to get someone to cut and color the hair. The other part would be, you know, I'm a bit shy, I'm not very good at it kind of thing. But I think all of those things now is excuses, if you like, and it's a non-negotiable. You need to be good at sales. And again, it's not just about the bottle of shampoo or hairspray. This is about being good at sales in terms of being busy and helping your business as an individual, but as an organization, to get clients in over through that door in your chair. And then the question becomes, you know, I always find it really fascinating in terms of hairdressers, and not being one, of course, that a client will allow someone to cut, color, use chemicals on their head and do various things. But if they don't buy a shampoo from that hairdresser, if I was a hairdresser, I would ask myself, I would look myself in the mirror and I would just sort of ask myself, how come I can cut this person's hair, I can color the hair with chemicals, but they don't buy a bottle of shampoo from me? And I think it's a valid question. So if you look at your column as such, your clientele, and if you really be truthful to yourself and look at your retail, so from the retail aspect, ask yourself, how come I have so many clients that choose me for my expertise in the technical aspect of hairdressing, but why wouldn't they buy a bottle of shampoo from me? And that's a good question, because maybe you can find some answers there where you can make sure that you change your dialogue, change your approach. And the last, probably not the last time I'm going to say it, but I will say one more time now, is people do buy shampoo. The question is, do they buy it from you?
Yeah, and of course, one of the other things that hairdressers say all the time is, oh, you know, well, the clients buy it cheaper elsewhere. And this is really where, you know, we have to make sure we've got a good strategy of finding out where the client's value lies. So what that means is this: some people will use no skincare at all. Some people will use you know, I don't know, like little jars of skincare, which is £2 or £3. Other people use jars of skincare that cost 60, 80, £100. So we all have a different value on the goods that we buy. Part of our expertise is finding out, where is my client's, where is her value on shampoo? Now, really important for us to understand, this bottle of Illumina shampoo here is, for the client, £8.80. So we know that it's concentrated, and more concentrated than shampoos that she can buy. Shampoos that she can buy in the supermarket. One of the 4 R's, of course, is retail. The client supporting our business by buying retail. So this is a really big message. You know, everywhere you look around at the moment, everywhere you can see businesses that are asking people, please support our business, or they're thanking people, thank you so much for supporting us. It's most certainly something that sales culturally we are really hammering home at Passion for Hair. Every single employee there must be very grateful for you, and without you, we're nothing. So they must be very grateful for you and the part that you play. When Daniel talks about, you know, that chain, right? We are all part of the same chain. So making sure that you know about the products that you sell is an important part of your job. You've got another week and a bit before you go back on July the 4th. If you're going back on July the 4th, and I'm sure most of you are, really take that time to find out about the products that you recommend in your salon, so that with real confidence you're able to recommend to the client, what it is that she really needs. Because as Daniel said, everyone buys shampoo. The question is, are they buying it from you?
And I think most of you guys will, maybe you have even, you will agree with me on this. I think you have either seen, shared, or liked a post about supporting some form of independence. I know the restaurant industry have had a lot of those out. Indeed, hairdressers have as well. I can't really remember on top of my head, but they say things like, remember this small business that during this lockdown did this, did that. Make sure you support them when they open. And I think those things are great, but don't let it be a Facebook post. Ensure that you speak to your client and make sure that we are an independent salon on the high street, in the town center, in the village. Don't let this be a Facebook post. Make sure that you take that support that, if you have, show that on Facebook through like and sharing. Take that with your dialogue and speak to your guests, your clients, and make sure that they support you and the salon that you work in. I think it's super important. You see, everyone at this moment in time is talking about supporting the independent sector, whether it's hairdressing or restaurants or whatever it might be, and that is great, but they won't do it if we forget about it when we open the doors. Don't allow this to be a Facebook post. Make sure you carry this into the salon and speak to your clients. They want to support you, but they might forget, and they might find that support lying elsewhere if you're not talking about it. And this is not about being, this is not about having a desperation or being pushy with your clients, but it's certainly about telling your story and showcasing some urgency. There is urgency. We're super happy. We're opening on the 4th. Happy days. It's going to be great. 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks, whatever it might be. But there is urgency because we have been 3 months doing nothing. So please remember the urgency and don't let this be a social media post that you will forget in 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, Daniel said, talk to your clients about it. This is the 42-page document that the government released. Early hours of this morning, they released it. I got up at 3:30 this morning and I have read all 42 pages, I promise you. I've not memorized it all. I've printed it off so that I can reference it. But it does talk in there. It does mention in there that there should be maybe minimum talk. So this is a great opportunity for us. Minimum talk in the salon. When we do talk, make it count, because this is a great opportunity. You see, often hairdressers say to me, well, I want to be more professional as a hairdresser, and I want to talk about products, and I want to make those conversations count, but the clients are always asking me, about my children or my holiday, and people do that out of politeness. Someone said to me they saw a post, it was on the radio, it was on the radio, and they were talking about part of the guidelines say that hairdressers have got to speak less, and on the radio somebody said, thank goodness for that, because I can't bear the chatter in the salon, right? And I'm sure a lot of people are feeling that way. The point is, we've got the opportunity. In my salon, certainly, we are going to be telling clients that there is no talk at the shampoo bowl. No talking at the shampoo bowl.
I think it's a fantastic
for the hairdresser or for the client. Okay.
Ever since I've been part of any form of education industry related to hairdressing, it's always been that challenge. How do we get the team to speak about, keeping it professional, etc. And been mentioned before during these last 3 months that if there is ever a time to find that sort of reset button on dialogue, this is it. I can't think of a better time and place to come in with a new dialogue, new focus, have a sales mindset, whether it is a booking, shampoo, or whatever it might be, to help the business grow and be sustainable moving forward.
Sustainable. I love that word. The business being sustainable moving forward. I love that.
I don't even know if this is suitable to say at this moment in time, but I will say it anyway. I think there is there are some troubled water ahead. I think you guys see headline news, etc. Maybe like me, and you avoid the news. But if it's important news, it will find you somehow, and it does. And I think there is troubled waters ahead. We're talking 2, 3, 4, 5 months ahead. And I think everyone that care for their career, their industry, their business, and has a role to play, and it comes with a sales mindset. That's just how it is focused. So. Minimum talk, keep it professional, keep it to the product, keep it how to help those clients. Debbie said they don't really want, radio has already said this too, they don't really want to have the nitty-chattery talk, and they have not had their hair done for a long time. It's very important to them that you keep it about their hair and the products that they might need and so forth. I think it would be irresponsible, and I would be super upset if I sat down in the chair and you can see I haven't had a haircut and I should have married a hairdresser. I know what you're thinking. But if someone took the time not to talk about what I might need and look after my hair, it would be really upsetting. Taking all that time, 3 months out, and I'm sitting there for 45 minutes, half an hour, and they're talking about things that I don't really care about. I think that's fair.
Some of you know April Cox. April was the one that before the Americans went back to work, April was she was getting up at 3 a.m. and joining us on our webinars. You might remember.
Is she with us now?
No, I bet, maybe she is, but I think probably not. Try and keep that chair from squeaking because it comes out super loud, Declan said. Yeah. All right. So April messaged me about 2 days ago, and she said, I've got a really important heads up for you. Listen carefully, everybody. April is she's like a phenomenal hairdresser. She's a Euphora educator. She's a phenomenal Euphora educator. When our Euphora educators, certified Euphora educators, Carly, Nicole, they're with you on Friday here from the academy. Nicole's driving over here. I'm super excited. We've got a visitor tomorrow too. We've got Jane Reynolds visiting us tomorrow. She's going to IKEA to pick some stuff up. So she's going to pick her order up. So the team have asked her to bring some hot dogs in. Don't you forget them hot dogs, Jane.
Cinnamon rolls. Important.
Oh, sorry. Declan just said cinnamon rolls, more importantly. So, yeah. And I lost my train of thought now. Where was I going? Oh, April. So she messaged me. She said, one of the things that Don taught me, he's taught us many things, but something that she learned from Don that she always remembers is so important. And Don always says, follow up, follow up, follow up, right? And sometimes he says, follow through, follow up, follow through. Those things are always important. And it's that kind of, that part of things that people drop and they fail. Anyway, so April has called every single one of her clients post-appointment. She said, Debbie, heads up for you and for all your network at Passion for Hair. She said 10% of my clients post-appointment have not been happy. And April said, I've not taken this personally because I'm confident. I know all my clients. I've been doing their hair a long time and I'm confident in my ability. But one of the things that is very clear to me, there are a lot of people that are just very unhappy in themselves. So I think one of the things that's really important that we focus on is making sure that when our clients come and get their hair done, it's like the best experience that it possibly can be. People are very on when they're outside of the house, when they are in businesses, when they're in shops, people are, on super high alert, people are on edge. We've got to make sure our clients feel safe and comfortable with us, that we are confident in delivering our services to those clients, and that we literally embrace the client. No, not literally, because you mustn't do that, but you understand what I'm saying. Like you embrace that client journey and with confidence, you lead her through that journey. Really, really very, very important. Now, remember, so hopefully we're getting this point over to people about, we're not, when the rubber hits the road on the 4th of July, we're not going back to how it was before. You cannot do that. We're going to talk about next Wednesday. I'm doing Stylist Ready Steady Go, like literally days before we open up. We're going to be talking then about dialogue and things we should talk about and how we turn conversations around, because there should be no COVID conversations going on in the salon. That should not be happening. We'll be talking about that a little bit more next Wednesday. But what we should be making sure is that we're talking to the client about how she looks after her hair at home. One of the things surely we have got from the last 3 months plus, surely we have realized how important we are in society. Boris Johnson yesterday in his briefing actually said, we are all ready for a haircut. No one more than me. That's what he actually I'm paraphrasing. I haven't got it written down word for word, but that's what he said. So we must take this opportunity to raise our professionalism and really take our place in society. And John Steinbeck says the hairdresser is surely one of the most important people in a community. Now, this is our opportunity to rise up and take that place in community. We've been allowed to open when many others in the same sector as us have not been allowed to open, right? Nail techs, lash techs, beauticians, they've not been allowed. We have. So, we've really got to rise to this challenge of this expectation of the public of how great we are. And it's not going to work out if people are chewing gum, oh yeah, I had a lovely time. Yeah, I loved it. Rah, rah, rah. Oh yeah, my next door neighbour's cousin's brother had coronavirus. No, just no. That must not happen for a professional hairdresser, because it wouldn't happen with your doctor. It wouldn't happen with your dentist, right? And it shouldn't happen with us. And we're right behind dentists. They opened like 2 weeks ago, and now it's our turn. Yeah. Note that, people. Really take note of that.
Yeah, so that opportunity is fantastic. And let's go into the retail aspect of that, which we sort of touched on so far a little bit, is the Salon Love app. So at this moment in time, I believe we're 2 weeks in with the app. Are we 2 weeks in, Declan? Can you answer me? 2 weeks today, I believe. The app has done tremendously well. And any salon out there that has done a good job, you know who you are. It's really important to remember that it's an addition to what you should be doing in the salon, and that's what it is. And this whole concept of professional only salon exclusive brands is at the heart of what Passion for Hair is doing. And with the slight risk of repetition here, I think it's really important to remember that this app is built for salon owners and stylists to be able to bring convenience, so product at the fingertips on the mobile phones for your clients. And I was reminded by something this week that when Amazon started, so I'm sure you're aware of Amazon, you probably bought something there this morning by judging by the sales figures I read from them, that Jeff Bezos very early in the days said that he's going all about online because the numbers and the trends he saw that were being online purchases, there was a time where they were doing books only. He went all online and people thought it was crazy, and look where they are now. I am not for 1 minute suggesting that we are looking to become Amazon. But what I have shared with you over the last 2 weeks, that the trends of buying stuff on a mobile device is sky high. It is so dominant at this moment in time, and all the indicators are pointing that will carry on. So I want you to hammer that home to you guys. I don't want anyone to be left behind in the great opportunity that the Salon Love app offers you, and that is what it is. So don't be left behind and think that whatever you might not think about it. So if you don't think it's worthwhile, I think you're out of the game. If you don't think retail is worthwhile, I think you're out of the game in the first place. I'm just going to say it. If you don't think it's important, you're out of the game. You're not even in the game. But don't miss out on the opportunity with the retail app to complement your in-salon sales. I think it's going to be tremendous. And we had a really good mention this week, and I think it's thanks to Janice.
Emil McMahon, who does the blogs, and I think Janice. I spoke to Janice this morning. I think she's on here live.
He gave us a really nice.
Let's give Emil a little shout. Hi, Janice. So let's give Emil a little shout, because he's given one to us. But tell them what Emil said.
Yeah, so Emil, he's doing some great stuff. He does education blogs, and I'm sure he will forgive me. I don't know everything he's doing in terms of all the details, but he's been an industry person for a long period of time, does education, and he wrote a blog on retail. I think retail is one of his sort of passions and what he does a lot of. And he mentions us in his latest blog that it was out this week in terms of the forward thinking of giving salons the opportunity to be mobile, accessibility, customization, and you just have that overall access to retail from clients, but still being salon exclusive. So we appreciate that, Emil, if you would sit down and watch this one day. And it's only worth giving him a shout out there. But my point being, Emil as well is talking about how retail has to move forward. And it doesn't mean that retail in salon stops by any means, but it means that you add something to that brings value to your clients and to yourselves. And that's what the Salon Love app is doing. So I want to give, I'm going to do a little bit of a shout out to some of the salons out there that's done a tremendous job on their own accord by videoing, recording their screen, talking to the screen, like talking to their clients how to use it is tremendous. There's a few salons out there. I know Constance and Jody from Wits and Feathers have done a tremendous job on that. I know the Barry Stevens group did a great job on it. So I'm just giving you these kind of heads up that, remember, any points of contact.
Yeah, don't miss anybody. I mean, some...
No, he's done great job. I mean, Andrew Slater had a great video out there, so I don't want to miss anyone. Andrew Slater had a good one. Tommy Brooks did a great video as well. So it's a few of you. I'm sure I'm missing someone out.
I do want to tell everyone this. We had a target. We're not going to, we had a target of how many downloads by September. Let me tell you, we are already 140% to that, over that target. So it's been way more popular than we thought it would be. It's been phenomenal. Orders come in overnight. So I think we mentioned last week, Jane had a client that ordered at 4 a.m. Her order time. Literally, like on Sundays, because Daniel gets a ping every time an order comes in.
Ping. Yes.
And on Sunday it was like ping, 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 ping all day on Sunday,
yes.
Right? So you guys are taking part in it. You're closed, your door's not even open, but you're making money. Imagine sitting in your salon and people are coming in the door buying retail. That is what's happening. And we've not even yet had an opportunity to speak with our clients and really tell them, so this is literally through social media that people are able to make this happen. I'm trying to think. We were somewhere. I think we were talking to somebody, and literally, like in the short amount of time we were talking to them, 3 orders came through.
You were actually on a Zoom, and they started pinging. I think, yeah. So to summarize, I felt it was really important to bring it up because we're only 2 weeks in. I see the strength of the app being once you're back in the salon. This is a salon app to work for you. So that's certainly going to be when everyone is getting the most out of this. But what it's important to remember, I would feel terrible if we come into September, October, maybe even November, and someone comes to me and says, look, I've heard you talk about this. Debbie has mentioned it. I watched a couple of webinars, but I haven't really taken opportunity. And then salons that have taken the opportunities just, away with it and doing really well. So just explore that opportunity. And I want to extend this as well. If you do need some help and advice on how to do this, then by all means reach out and we can help you. Look at some of the salons we have mentioned, and Emma Hassan, I know, has done some as well. I'm just conscious of missing people out. Yeah. Look at what they're doing and help them understand. But what is really important, you need to speak as a salon to your consumer about the app. Sharing.
Retreat have done a really good job.
Retreat has done a great job.
Now I'm conscious of not of missing anything.
Sharing something, a passion for hair poster, for example, which we haven't really done because it's for the consumers. We've done some of it to sort of get the awareness out there. But you need to do it as your thing. You need to speak your language, your dialogue, and come from your heart, speaking to your clients and explain that part of it. So I'm gonna leave the app part there, but do know that it plays a tremendous role moving forward. And I believe that even in the first few weeks, when keeping talk to a minimal might be the opportunity, and the app would play its part. I've always said the app is not there to replace in-salon sales. It really isn't. It's not the purpose of the app. But it might come in play for the first few weeks, depending on how your clients are when they're sitting in the chair and how quickly they want to get out. So it has a role to play. So I want you to explore it. I want you to reach out if you need some help and advice. But don't miss the train. Don't be a late bloomer on this. Be an early adopter, because mobile phone sales, with the setup that we have, everything points that this is going to be the way we do things moving forward. So, be an early adopter on this.
Yeah, I think one of the things you haven't said that we had discussed. So in the first 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, please, Lord, I'd love you all to be busy every week. But what we do know is that all your best clients are going to be in your chair in the next 4-5 weeks. Okay. So this is like Saturday night in the theatre. This is your biggest audience. You do your best performance to your biggest audience. This is the opportunity when you say to the clients, the style that you're going to be wearing is 60% what I do in the salon today, but it's 40% what you do when you get home. Your clients have never experienced 3 months without being able to come to you when they want to. They've never experienced that before. Before, hairdressers was all about, I'm having a bad hair today. I'll ring up. I'll get an appointment. If they couldn't get an appointment with their favourite hairdresser, they'll go to another salon down the road. This was how it was before. It's not like that now. Everybody's in a state of high alert for hairdressers. People are like, am I on the wait list? So this is a really good opportunity to reach out to our biggest audience, at this time. And it's a great opportunity. I think from a hairdresser point of view, I think the Salon Love app is an opportunity for hairdressers to talk about retail products to their clients without for those of you that feel the pressure of the products on the shelf, right? In other words, my client thinks I'm trying to sell to her. That Salon Love app that creates a new conversation. Declan is creating what is that called? The card thing.
Table talkers.
Thank you. Table talkers.
What a great name.
Window, mirror, decals, stickers, whatever we have debates about this, whatever you want. We're creating those for you. So we'll have them with us by next week for your opening. And if people have got questions, we're happy to answer those questions.
I saw Michelle say something. That Michelle from Liverpool, the base. She said her sister went on, and you could probably all see it. And she asked, "Why don't you have all of these things?" I didn't know there were so many products. And that's a great realization what customer might want. And we are not suggesting that you have, as you know, we're not suggesting that you carry every single item size and every single brand in your salon. But that right there is what we're talking about in terms of offering more in products and what your client might want. So often I hear, I don't carry that because my clients don't want it. It's a very frustrating thing to hear, because how dare anyone just decide that decision what your customers want? You don't know. But the app now offers that. That is your biggest retail store becomes the app. You should, of course, still use products in your salon, etc. But Michelle, thank you for sharing that. I think that's really, really important. And that's her sister. So if you imagine someone else, don't sort of close that option and that opportunity for your consumer, for your client, because they want stuff. And that's just how it is. Can you see how I'm thinking now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the chair. It's probably some heavy.
Anyway. Let's start taking some questions, Declan, please.
Yes, we're doing on time.
Okay.
Oh, it's September.
So are people doing 2 clients at a time per stylist, or just one, i.e. colour client and then cut and blow dry and then back-to-back colour? Okay, so Helen. And people can answer Helen's question. There is nothing in here that says that you cannot do that. In my salons, I've said all along, unless the government told us we could not, we would be doing clients, booking them, because without doing that, we may as well have not opened the door, right? So at Feathers, we are doing clients, putting a colour, leaving that client there, going over to another client here. We're open 7 days a week. We're open from 9 till 9, so that we're able to get all of our team in there with social distancing for the clients. But yes, we are booking 2 clients at a time for stylists. Other people will have their own views, but there is nothing in here that says you cannot do that, as long as you are social distancing, keeping the client safe. And of course, the social distance has moved. It says 2 meters where possible, 1 meter plus, they're calling it. We have already planned, in my salons, we've already planned 2 meters. So we are actually going to use that as a USP, that we are working to 2 meters distancing where possible. Okay. So I hope that answered the question. If it didn't, ask another and we'll keep going with them. Are reservation fees the same as booking fees? So Tammy, the reason why I'm using the jargon reservation fee, it's a point of the law. So if it's a deposit, I'm not sure about booking fee. I'd have to look it up. If it's a deposit, then the client is within their rights to ask for that deposit back. If it's a reservation fee, then you are not obliged to refund that at any point. So I've used in Feathers, and it's difficult because on the Salon IQ, all the written words are deposit, deposit, deposit. And so just this morning, I was having a conversation with, one of our receptionists at Feathers, who I hope she's on here, but she's back at work now. This is her first day back at work, not furloughed, and she's watched every single webinar. And so we're looking for Lily, although she might be on. But she says, "Oh, can I watch the webinar?" And I said, "Yeah, you can have it on in the background." But she's she's watching it with Kim. Kim and Lily are watching it together, I believe. Yeah, we are here. So they are working, trying to get through our wait lists. So I hope that answered your question, Tammy. We're using reservation fee because it means that we don't have to refund it. It means we can move it from one appointment to another, transfer it from one appointment to another. If we choose to refund it, that will be our choice, our goodwill. And I reiterate what I said earlier. If you want to see our reservation policy, if you email me, DEBBIE Debbie Digby at AOL.com. If you email me, don't ask me any other way because it's too different. But if you email me, it's really easy for me to reply to you with that policy, so you can have a look at what we've done.
Next question, Beck.
When they've had their haircut in the salon and they rebook for the next one, you will charge deposits and reservation fees. Yes, Matt, that's the plan. That's the plan. What qualifies a client to be on your VIP list? Is it the amount they spend, frequency, or both? It's a really good question. Our VIP list, for those of you that are using Salon IQ, comes from a list that you can generate, which gives you your top 100 spenders. And that's our VIP list. You also are able to generate a list on Salon IQ, which tells you clients that missed an appointment. And there's another report on there where you can find clients whose appointments were cancelled. So that will be everybody that had an appointment that was either cancelled or just skipped over. All of those reports, that's then formed our wait list. Plus, we've been inundated with people on social media, by email and by telephone, people saying, and the way that we're booking appointments, this is us personally. Other people, please share. Personally, we're putting them on, all the clients, all the inquiries are going onto a wait list, and we are rebuilding our appointment book as we go. that's what we're doing.
Next question, Beck.
If client want to leave a longer gap to rebook, how would you persuade them to go back to the usual rebook time? Anna said.
I'm not sure you can.
Well, you can, because you see, in the last recession, you can't force people to not, change what they want. Now, you can really, through your dialogue, Anna, right? So let's say I was your client. You could say, Debbie, we really ought to book for 4 weeks. Okay. Now, because I should rebook for 4 weeks. I like shorter hair, right? You should really book for 4 weeks. I might say, oh gosh, and however I manipulate that away from you. So I say, well, I can make it in 5 weeks, or I can make it in 6. I get to make the appointment when I want to. I'm the client, right? So we have to honor that. You can always be reinforcing with that client that really the optimum time for you to get a haircut is 4 weeks. So you can keep reiterating that. Now, back in the recession, the last, really big recession that we had, which would have been 2008 to 2010/11, depending on who you speak to, clients had eked out their appointments at that time, and over a period of time, hairdressers did get them back into the right rhythm, because it's not that we're trying to force people to have their hair cut every 6 weeks out of our own greed. It's because that's when, that's how often it is. We've got a barber coming to work with us here. And Declan said yesterday, he said, gosh, if there was a barber on the doorstep, I would get my hair cut. How often did you say?
Once a week.
Once a week. I'd like to get my hair cut once a week. You see, so it's finding that balance.
It is funny. And I just want to say, of course, you can persuade clients through dialogue. And I didn't mean that you can't. Of course, you can. I do want to give heads up, though, considering the title of this. I think anyone needs to also look at combining the dialogue and the speaking well to your clients and make them understand why. But I think I think stylists overall is going to need a lot of new clients moving forward. I think they're out there, but I think this has changed the consumer behavior somewhat, and it might even take longer than the last recession to get people back in a habit. It might not. I might be completely wrong, but I think the mentality out there is we have to be aware of it and not take things for granted. And I think we need to hustle and be ready for sales and bringing new business in. That is my humble opinion moving forward.
Yeah. One of the things Brittany told me that she's experienced in her salon, Brittany must have been back about 4 weeks now. She said some clients are making the appointments longer purely and simply for they're seeing that as part of their own kind of social distancing regime. In other words, well, I know I can go a little bit longer than 6 weeks, and I'm going to because I'm more comfortable with that. And so it's a little bit uncharted territory, really, but we can only do our best. In the 4 R's letter that I shared last week, communicating with the clients, one of the things that I said, and this is a dialogue that everybody should get, and next Wednesday I will make sure that we talk about this dialogue, but a dialogue we should get is with a client is where we say, if you don't book your next appointment, it isn't until you have a bad hair day or 2 that you remember that you need an appointment. And then by the time you get round to calling us and we find an appointment that is convenient for you, you've actually gone over your bad hair day experience. So now the client goes, oh, I'm having a bad hair day. Oh, this is my second bad hair day. I really must get a haircut. And now it's another 2 weeks before she gets an appointment. And everybody now knows how awful it is to live with hair that doesn't work anymore. I've chopped bits off of mine everywhere. Look at what is happening back here. I nearly chopped this off and I thought, no, I can't. I know how bad that will be. So
next question, Nick.
Have you booked extra time for appointments in between appointments? Again, people, please answer what you've done. But us personally at Feathers, we have made the decision. We've got enough space to be able to take a client from this chair and go to another chair, just the way they've planned it. And with having our apprentices back, We believe that, and I hope we're right, because I looked at the appointment book the other day, one of the salons, and it took my breath away. I phoned the managers immediately. I was like, are you guys sure you could cope with that? After Boris's announcement yesterday, I immediately went live in my Feathers team group, and I said to them, listen, guys, we have got amongst us some champions who are working 7 days a week, 12-hour days, because they're the ones that have got all the clients, and all the clients are demanding, and I'm so grateful they're doing that, and they're grateful to be doing it too, and that's even more important. And I said to the other, the rest of the team, for those of you who are like, they are the people who are going to financially carry us through this, and I don't want to see anybody in a kitchen chatting. No need to be in a kitchen, right? Because we're not doing any refreshments. There's no washing up. There's no coffee to make. There's no towels to tumble dry. There's nothing. Shut the kitchen. No one's going in it. I said, please, everybody, play your part and support these team members. So in answer to your question, we haven't done it because we've chosen to optimize as much as we can financially. We need to do that. I'm not too proud to tell you we need to do that. We are going to, the in-between appointments, this for us is our support team, and our support team are going to be the ones that are going to make sure we keep sanitized in our salons.
Next question, Dec.
I'm emailing pre-appointment consultations to all my chemical clients. Would you recommend I send them out for cut and blow dries too? Okay, Maria. Personally, yes. We are doing all our consultations digitally pre-appointment. That starts with a chemical consultation, emailed consultation sheet. Dentists are doing it. So dentists are doing, the dentist I go to are doing face-to-face consultations. We probably can't do that with everybody, and we don't have to. But my recommendation is I think that would be an excellent thing to do. And I think it, in many respects, will be an expectation of some clients. So, yes, I would do that if I were you. It's going to give you an idea of what's going to happen when the client comes in. It also gives you an opportunity, by the way. In here, there are mandatory questions you have to ask people. One of them, of course, is, have you had these side effects in the last so many days? They're questions you have to ask. It's an opportunity for you to introduce those questions in as well, Maria. Okay, everybody. They're in here. Will your stylist sit down at eye level with your clients when doing a consultation? No, because one of the things it says in here, and he mentioned it yesterday, Boris said working at the side and working behind. So, and it talks in here about avoiding face. So, like, it goes against everything I've learned for the last 30 odd years about talking to clients through mirrors. But believe it or not, that's what we need to be doing. So sitting down at eye level with clients, no. Talking face to face with clients, no. That's why the visor is mandatory. Next one, Dec. I'm confused. Sure, I read that only a client in between a colour if you're bubbling with that household. Maybe that's for home hairdressers. Can you link that report you have printed out and read, please, Debbie? Can I link it? Yeah. Can you link this, Dec?
I don't know this one.
I think it's already well on Facebook.
It's in the. I put it in the Business Counts group. It's in the Business Counts group. The link is in there. I put it in there. So if you go there, you can find it. If anybody still needs it, if you contact me, I'll give you the link. What if a client has no email or mobile? How are you doing the COVID questions? Do you know what? I thought about this this morning when I was reading this. I did think about all those clients that say, I haven't got an email address, and we have got some older clients who haven't got email addresses, right? And they're going to have to do that manually. But if clients say they haven't got an email or a mobile, they can't come to our salon. If we can't communicate with them, I'm sorry, we can't make you an appointment at this time.
Find a new
one. Because one of the things the government says, by the way, in here is you have to keep records of everybody that's in your premises, what date they're in, what time they're in. Now, if you've got computers, you've already got this information, but you have to have the contact details. It's the law. It's in here. Okay? So really good question, Jane. But people who won't give their mobile, won't give their email, I'm sorry, I'm not able to give you an appointment at this time. Restaurants are going to be doing it. If you won't give a restaurant your name, your mobile, etc., you can't go in. They also have got to keep those records. What about fringe trims? Will you be able to still do this if you're wearing a visor? Yeah, keep it. I mean, it doesn't say you can't, but it says that you have to do it like to a minimum. It's why we have the visors, but you must keep the face-to-face stuff really, really low key. And this morning, actually, Janice, and give Tracy, I think Tracy's on here, give Tracy the kudos to this. Who remembers the old hairspray visors? If anyone's on here from Great Hairdressing, I know you've still got them because your clients won't let go of it. But they have sourced some of those old lacquer hairspray visors so that a client can hold that visor in front of their face. I thought that was brilliant. Brilliant idea. I don't know where on earth we're all going to get some now within the next 10 days. There's one upstairs in the Whittam salon. Okay.
Next question.
There's one between the whole group.
Gary.
Is there a template for the digital consultation form on Salon IQ? Ideas to make one and not miss anything new to Salon IQ. Okay, there is a template, Gary. But also, is Abby on here?
Jackson.
Abby Jackson.
Yeah, she's there a question.
Abby, she did a brilliant job. Would you share yours, Abby, in Passion for Hairstylist hotline? Just go in there and share it. She did a really good job of making her own personalized to her salon. Also, an email went out yesterday from Salon IQ that told people this is how you can customize your own. If you didn't get that, Gary, just remind me, so email me and I will forward you the Salon IQ email that came out yesterday.
I'm speaking to Gary at 3:00 actually. Hi, Gary. I will remind him and get that sorted.
All right. So, and we're happy to help you with that. Salon IQ will be really good at helping you too, but I've no doubt they're going to be inundated the next week. If you stand above the guest and speak, the visors can't stop the spray traveling downwards. Surely face-to-face is greater protection. Matt, I am floored that it is not in here about shampooing a client. So personally, in my salons, they have to wear a visor mandatory, but when they're shampooing clients, I am also going to make part of our health and safety that my team wear their face covering, because I agree. If we're also, by the way, when shampooing, no speaking, all right? If I have to put my glasses over the top, otherwise that's it. Okay, like that. Yes, if I'm shampooing, the client's head is here. The visor comes like this, comes forward like this slightly. I'm sure you've all seen them, right? They come forward. So, I mean, if I cough, the client's head's there and I cough, my droplets, whatever they call them, is going to hit the visor and land straight on the client's face. I can't, honestly, I'm floored that it's not in there. Floored. So, personally, I'm going to make that part of because everybody by law, you've got to do your own health and safety risk assessment it's in here by law that is directed to COVID. And so that will be in mine. If you've identified that, Matt, then I'm sure you're going to put it in yours. Any more questions, Deck?
I think that's it. This is confirmed, but I can't see any other.
Okay. Yeah, I can see Karen put, yes, Debbie, I'll be digging them back out. Oh, I will never forget those things as long as I live. For those of you who are wondering what I'm talking about, I was at GM's and someone was doing this client's hair, and I sprayed her hair, and unbeknown to me,
great hairdressing. You mean
great hairdressing? What did I say?
GM's.
Oh, sorry, great hairdressing. I sprayed this client's hair. I put my hand like that and sprayed her hair, and it was Euphora hairspray. Gosh, I mean, I'd spray that directly in my face, and I've got no problem with it. Anyway, I went like that and sprayed it, and this client went berserk. Like, she leapt out of the shit. She said, "You sprayed that hairspray all over my face." And whoever was with me, it might even have been you, Karen, they went, "Oh, God, you've got to use this visor." But anyway, the clients insist they have their old visor. So dig them out, Karen. If you've got any spare ones, post one to me. Anyway, there we are. I don't think there's any more.
No, I think we're all done.
Gary, I used Abby's. Gary, I used Abby's. Oh, yeah, who's saying that? Michelle, I used Abby's, and it gave me great inspiration, easy enough to do, as Salon IQ sent a link. And if you can't get in touch, I have it and I'll send it. There you go. Michelle can do it. And would you use a mask and a visor together? Yeah, you'd have to, Chloe, if you're going to do that when shampooing, because the visor is mandatory, right? That's the law. You have to wear the visor. The face covering is not the law or mandatory, but if you are going to decide in your salon to use face coverings when you're shampooing, right, or at any other time, then you would still have to wear the visor, okay? Where the masks are also going to be really quite important is, like, let's say you've got a dispensary where you mix up colours. And if two team members are mixing up at the same time, then you can do that, this whole 1 metre plus thing. But what you would do is, to protect each other, then you'll put your mask on, okay? You'll put your mask on. You don't have to have the visor on when you're not serving a client. So, and if you're not, like, within a client, but you still might want to be wearing them. In my opinion, the masks, when you're working closely with people, are quite important. In my opinion, that's all. I think masks are really important. I don't know why the government is so reluctant on masks. It states somewhere that the client doesn't need a mask if we're wearing a visor. Yes, that's correct. In here, in fact, I wonder if I can find it, because because it actually has a whole, I bet I can find it. There you are. A whole section 6 is about personal protective equipment and face coverings, right? And in there, it actually says, I will read it to you. PPE protects the user against health or safety risk at work. Wait a minute. No, it's at the top of a page. Wait a minute. Here you go. I knew it was at the top of the page. I remember, because I couldn't, I was quite, when I read that bit. Both disposable and reusable visors are available. So you can use disposable ones or reusable ones. You'll probably do reusable. A reusable visor must be cleaned and sanitized regularly using normal cleaning products. There is no requirement for the client to wear any additional protection, such as a mask or face covering, when the practitioner is wearing a visor. So there's no requirement for a client to use a face covering. If the client wants to, or if that's what you want to do, you can do that as part of your health and safety risk assessment, but it's not a legal requirement. So at this point, I just want to tell you all that we just received these yesterday. So this is the Sensus hand sanitizer, and in a nice little handy bottle. And for all of those of you that have ordered the Sensus Be Safe kits, we're sending these out to you with our compliments, so that team members can have. Hand sanitation is the most important thing. The guys here will tell you, I am like always saying to it, sanitize your hands. It's the most important thing. Keep your hands sanitized. Don't touch your face. Social distance. Social distance, protect others, wear the mask. Keep sanitizing the areas. The cross-contamination touch points, door handles, and etc. Keep sanitizing. I really want you all to stay safe. I'll talk to the camera. Because we don't want to see a second wave. We don't want to have to be closing our salons. We don't want to be involved in track and trace. That's a legal requirement. It's all in here. We don't want to be. By the way, you might have to put something in your GDPR about that, but it's the law. Do you have to change the mask if you take it off halfway through the day? No. They're face coverings. These are face coverings. Okay. No face coverings. Before you touch the face covering, you sanitize your hands. Not because you're touching the face covering, because you're touching your face, right? So before you touch your face, you sanitize your hands. Really important. One of the things I'm really sad for the nail techs, but one of the things I'm really pleased about is that all the hairdressers can't come back with like long nails because the nail techs are not working. Because how do you get all the germs out from in the long nails, right? Anyway, sanitize your hands and then put your mask on, right? Your face covering, okay? And then, a minute, get it over my nose. Doing it that's it, right? Get it over your nose like that. And then if you're going to take it off, sanitize your hands. This is the most important thing, guys, for you, for your safety, I promise. And your client. Every time you do your own hands, do the client's. Look, we've got little bottles like this that we've been filling up. Malibu, we have Malibu C hand sanitizer. We've been sending some of that out. Right, keep sanitizing your hands and then take the mask off. The mask is okay. All right, it's good. Only if it gets wet, but it won't get wet. Okay, so I think that's, I can see blue things. 1 minute, it states somewhere the client doesn't need a mask. Oh yeah, that's what we just did. Yeah, we just did that one. Something's crazy, Mags. I'm crazy. I'm going crazy. And just found the best visors that can be lifted upwards. Well, that's good. I'm glad about that. But let's make sure the team keep them on. I've been told to wash glasses in washing up liquid to stop them steaming up. I hope this works. Yeah, well, that's an old diving trick. Like if you go diving or snorkeling, it does stop steaming up. But I have to say, once I get my mask, sometimes like when I'm putting it on, it steams up. But once I've got it on, right, it doesn't steam up once it's on. That's my experience. These masks, right? If you get thicker or face coverings. I know a lot of people are making some for charity. I've bought some for charity. And some of those are a little bit thicker and they're harder to breathe through. But that's good. Okay, so just to reiterate, Friday, we've got Nicole and Carly. They're doing 8 essential steps. They're going to be here in the academy with this setup. And then next Wednesday, Stylist Ready, Steady, Go with me. Maybe if Daniel will join me, that would be quite good.
I might do that or I might not.
Who knows? Anyway, guys, the weather's lovely. So enjoy your last few days. But July the 4th, here we come. And we are going to set that world on fire. It's been great to spend some time with you.
It has been fun. Yes, thank you very much. And enjoy the rest of your week. And if you haven't put your order in, please do so you get it on time. Thank you.